depression. Depression is when you have a chunk of your hope missing. In other words, it's when your vision of your destiny, your future, what have you, is diminished, is fragmented by the here and now, the constant bombardment of here and now. Now, that's not the technical definition of depression, obviously, but it's the one that actually is generally applicable, or I'm just going to say it's generally applicable. Whenever I'm depressed, which is a lot, I think of it as missing potential. I think of it as on the one hand, it's all downhill from here. There's nothing I can really do given current predicaments, current limitations. But on the other hand, there's a voice that says, well, you never know, maybe, just maybe, you can look beyond now, look beyond the here and now. Maybe, just maybe, you can eradicate the here and now. You can be a little solipsistic. You can look at the here and now as less real, or not real at all in ways. Maybe you can turn that on consciously, and turn it off consciously. Maybe you can figure out a way to do that. Wouldn't it be great to become a kid again if you once were a kid that was happy and, you know, in the eternal spring of youth, and just, wow, it's a wonderful world. Oh, wouldn't that be great? And the here and now always says, no, that's not possible. The here and now always says everything is not possible. Well, it doesn't say everything is not possible, but it says the everything that matters is not possible. So the everything of possibilities is not possible. No, things are, eternally terrible as we progress through this mud on the windshield called history. But to see beyond the here and now, to see beyond your own doom as the here and now would have you perceive it, that is one of the things I think about when I'm really depressed. Now, depression is a void. Depression is, it's something that you sort of wake up and give up in at the same moments. Like every morning you wake up and you're like, oh, why? Why? That's what it's like. And this goes on and on and on and on and on. This physical manifestation of depression, the lackluster motivations to do things. My depression, it isn't. It doesn't generally get to the point where I don't want to do things anymore, in the sense that I don't want to, have new experiences that are ideal, but it does affect me in the way that I just don't want to. I'm just unmotivated to follow through on the idea. So the idea of wanting to do things still exists, and it still maintains some frequency that I pick up on, that I receive, but it's just the motivation to follow through, with an idea. It just that starts to go away, and then it comes back at at the later part of the day. I have to usually have a rest and just clear my mind out, meditate a bit, and then some motivation to physically follow through with those ideas. Some of that kind of motivation comes back. But speaking of the physical manifestation of depression, you really, you start to become, you start to understand the lines to that Smith song. Does the mind control the body? Does the body control the mind? I don't know. It's like your mind wants to do things, wants to be happy, wants to be excited, wants to, hold festivities and celebrate and stuff like that. But your body is like, no. It's like, no, I don't believe the mind. The body doesn't believe the mind, or the body's out of control and is controlling the mind. It's really the case that it's matter over mind when you're in the grip of depression. And it sucks. It's really, well, there's no other way to describe it other than it's really depressing to be depressed. It's sort of you realize you're depressed, and you just get even more depressed. It's just sort of, it's like that. But it's all to do, I think, I make this claim, staking my dominion, because of experience, that depression is the result of not being conditioned to be the real you, and then constantly, through the culture, through media, through social media, reinforcing this false identity that doesn't do any good. You need to be yourself, and that means sometimes you need to be a little solipsistic. It means you know, sometimes you need to see other people as unreal in order to authentically interact with other people. That's what I've learned. But there's still something else with depression. It's, you know, this is something that doesn't go away. There is at least for me, there is this need to not merely survive. There's this need to overcome survival and to be alive. That the here and now constantly dismisses as rubbish. And the here and now, in my own awareness, will say that's stupid. It's pointless. It's futile and infantile and all that stuff. To go forth and carry the flame for actually surprising oneself and surpassing oneself where it concerns one's expectations. Regardless, though, even though my awareness thinks that transcendence of the here and now perspective and of the here and now ideas of possibility is stupid, that doesn't go away. That need to transcend doesn't go away. And in fact, so I mean, in perception, I see this playing out where it's actually keeping me in depression and at the same time alleviating the depression. So it's weird how that works. But I think I've gotten to the point in my life to realize and admit to myself that I don't even really know who or what I really, truly am. I mean, I don't know the content that is suitable for the context of myself. I really don't know. I'm completely lost. And, you know, you can look into personality types and a whole plethora of other systems. You can read self-help books. You can do all that work looking for an answer. But I think sooner or later you're going to have to come home to the realization that you can't heal yourself because you are not your healing. You can't save yourself because you are not your saving grace. Makes me think of the word grace. To me, that word means a sense of welcoming and a sense of belonging, and an emotional atmosphere of that, a physical atmosphere of that, an intellectual atmosphere of that. And it's a shame that somewhere along the way that just went away completely. It just vanished out the door, you know, away it went. It blew away with the wind. And I don't know how to get that back. You know, I just don't think I can initiate the return of grace into my life. And rather than, try to find some cope by going to a church or going somewhere else and joining some other, faction of society, I think rather than doing that, I'm going to just wait. Now, this is not the same as being inactive. Waiting, you can move while you wait. I'm just going to get shit done that needs to be done, and I'm going to wait for a miracle. That's really the only thing you can do. And if it doesn't come, then I'm going to spend as little time as possible dwelling on the absence of grace, dwelling on the fact of depression. Sometimes I can pull myself out of it. Sometimes I can watch a movie and then I'm not watching myself as I'm identifying with another character. So I'm not identifying as myself watching something. I can sort of, my mind can jump into the television, and so I can pull myself out of the depression sometimes. Depends on what movie or show I decide to watch. Sometimes it can make things worse. Other times it can lift me up and give me a little bit of a boost. But then, afterwards I realize, oh, that was a false boost because I was identifying with another. And I wonder if people they get more behaviorally extroverted when they go through depression. If there's somehow a way that they socialize to identify with other people all the time instead of themselves. I wonder if, like, really, really, really insanely behavioral extroverts, if there's a bit of escapism from the self going on whilst they're out, frolicking in the sex paddocks or whatever, the clubs, the places, all the hot spots that, eager bunnies hop along to. I wonder. But yeah, depression. There's part of it is the absence of grace, the lack of potential, the division of potential from your perception because of the added perception of the here and now. This is why parents just should not try to get their kids focusing on the here and now. It's a terrible thing to do. That was done to me. Focus on the here and now. Be more realistic. That's a terrible thing. That's terrible advice in one way, right? It's different if the person has already, integrated the here and now. Then it's just practical. But before they've done that, let them be a kid. Let them play. Let them be stupid and shit. Because they haven't been completely destroyed by the here and now yet. Anyway, I don't want to make it sound like it's that bad, completely destroyed, but it is it's a sort of, how I would describe depression is, it's a sort of, if you could live a resentful sigh, if you could be like fully oddly enlivened but not really enlivened as a depressing, resentful sigh, then that's what depression is like. It's like, oh, this again, it's this again. And it's being, you're trapped with expectations, you're trapped with, this feeling of emptiness, you're trapped with this feeling of slight resentment. You're trapped with this feeling of bitterness. It's not good. Yeah. Anyway, wanted to talk about that. Have a good day. Peace. Meow.